Okay, so we're going to our first class. Good morning. Breakfast was the usual. Look, we did 2 eggs just on the pan, fried up, and then we microwaved a pure protein chocolate deluxe protein bar. And we had our coffee with like 100 milliliters of almond milk. Now, some interesting news. I'm thinking about changing to a more antagonistic type split. So instead of doing the 5 days and then, geez, what would it be? Working everything still 2 times per week, each muscle group 2 times per week. I'm gonna go still 2 times per week, but more antagonistic. So chest back one day, and then buys tries another day. And then I'm thinking about throwing shoulders in on that same day as just kind of a SARM day. And then obviously legs will just be all together. And we're not gonna do anything antagonistic with that because essentially you already are. Quads and hams are opposite sides of the femur. So you're essentially working them anyways as a whole muscle group, whole body part leg. But anyways, that's the new switch up of the split. Hopefully I explained it simple enough, but yeah, that's it. All right, I'm deciding we're gonna do flat barbell and then dumbbell incline and then pec deck, 3 movements for chest and then 3 movements for back. So I'm thinking, let's see here, high grip, chest supported rows, low grip, chest supported rows, and then we're gonna do, how about some pullovers? A cable bar pullover, I'm liking that. Excuse me, bro. Can I get a spot real quick?
Sure. How many legs do you want to do?
15.
15?
So, sorry I didn't film the high grip rows. I just kind of forgot about it. But anyways, I kind of did, I don't want to say a deload almost, but I dropped the weight from what I was progressively overloading at with my previous split. Kind of just because I really want to be able to activate whatever muscle groups I'm training for that day, and really just essentially prevent any kind of atrophy I might be doing from this extreme calorie deficit that I'm in almost every day. It's a little bit different when you're doing, for example, I don't want to say lousy form, but, mediocre form, and you're on a bulk. That muscle's going to get activated either way. You're going to gain a bunch of strength because of all the calories that you're in a surplus from. And, you're doing the movement. All you got to do is just move on a bulk, essentially, and you'll gain muscle. You're gaining mass either way from the calorie surplus. But with all that muscle that you gain, when you're in the calorie deficit, you really have to be mindful of, how your resistance training is. And what I mean by that is, gotta have strict form, gotta be taking the eccentrics and the concentrics pretty slow. You don't just want to blast through the concentric. So slow eccentric, slow concentric, and then maybe even a brief pause at the top of your rep. So, a tight squeeze for like a brief moment, like a half a second. What else? And then when you're this is the number one thing. When you're resistance training on a calorie deficit, when you're in the most lengthened position that the striations and the muscle fibers are in for a particular movement, you want to stay in that most lengthened position for as much as possible, because that's where the most hypertrophy is built for that targeted movement. So that's really where the muscle is going to come from. Anyways, so just kind of focusing on that period of the movement. And you might also be wondering why I chose to do the machine where it kind of isolates your lats when doing the pullovers, rather than the cable bar pullovers. It's two reasons. First reason is because, not to brag, but I'm a little bit too strong, and my lats need a lot of weight in order to be effectively trained while doing cable bar pullovers. So the stack is going to take away from my leverage a little bit when I'm standing my ground. And what my tension is going to be is to bend over a little bit, and that puts a little bit more emphasis on the lower pec, is what it is. So I chose the more isolated version of the movement. And that way I also don't have to engage my core as much, because on a standing cable bar lat pullover, you're gonna have to engage your core, hold your ground, and it's tough when you're that strong and you weigh so little. Okay, so quick update. I didn't eat anything today because when I came home for my second meal of the day, lunch, which is supposed to be, burrito, ground beef, 4 ounces of the ground beef. And we had some real lean ground beef, and I was super excited. It was 96.4, so I put it in the freezer and then took it out 2 days ago. I put it in the fridge 2 days ago, and I felt it yesterday, and it was still frozen. So, I just starved myself, essentially, besides like a few small things yesterday. I think I had like a protein bar and sardines. And then I had Panda Express yesterday. So I go to feel it today. It's frozen after being in the fridge for 2 days. I don't know if this is normal. This is my first time experimenting with ground beef. So I could be sounding very silly right now if this is a normal thing. but it is what it is. Looks like I'm starving myself today, besides the 2 eggs that I had this morning and protein bar for breakfast. Can't forget about a clementine for a pre-workout snack. But it is 6:30 and I have a long night ahead of me. And I think my hunger is going to be occupied by one meal. And it's going to be Panda Express. I already mapped it out. I put 2 servings of orange chicken and 1 serving of sweet fire chicken breast and 1 serving of fried rice into my Lose It app. And it said I'll be like just over 2,000 calories. And right now, or I don't even know what it is right now. I would have to stop this video and check. But about 2 hours ago, before I started my homework, maybe around like 2.5 hours ago, before I started my homework, I was at 1,900 calories burned. And, that was forever ago. So I have the entire rest of the night to live and breathe and burn calories. Plus a little ab workout if I would like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a lot of tension in my abs after, just progressively overloading my routines that I do throughout the night, just ramping up the intensity. And it's tough being in a calorie deficit most days besides my cheat day. It just makes it tricky trying to recover and like getting enough protein and stuff, because that's the other thing with this whole ground beef loss. I'm eating not enough protein. I have ground beef in my dinner and in my lunch because I have burritos and then spaghetti with bolognese. Anyways, I have to head out of here.